Here we are with Julia Maddux for her video presentation in California, September 12th, 2010. We have Doug, we have Lance, and we have Jarpe, who's actually from Finland. And then myself, Kyle.
President Thomas S. Monson once said, "The Lord grants unto us memories that we may have June roses in the summers of our lives." As an 8-year-old child, the youngest of 4, and the only girl, I constantly sought companionship from my brothers. However, the best I could do was our family dog, a Shar-Pei named Carmel. In my constant quest for companionship, Carmel was the recipient of my affection. Unfortunately, the affection wasn't appreciated nor reciprocated. Now, if you didn't know, Shar-Peis have a natural tendency to be extremely loyal to their owner and to their owner only, making them very aggressive dogs. In my experience, that didn't turn out too well. There had been times before they had shown my affection and she reciprocated with a growl. However, my luck ran out. Just as I had given her hugs before, I bent down and found my face in her mouth with her tooth piercing my skin, just below my eye. Tears in my eyes, I was distraught, finding no comfort in my parents' words or hugs. After 20 minutes of failed attempts, my parents called my grandma, who lived up the street, to come see me if she could comfort me. Within a few minutes of being in her presence, I was able to calm myself and the pain subsided. This is a memory that I will never forget. The thought of her kindness and ability to comfort those around her will be forever in my heart. Because of the effect of Alzheimer's, my grandma can no longer hold this memory in her mind. The thought of introducing myself every time I see her is a hard thing to accept. It is hard to not only see my grandma age at a quicker rate, but it's difficult to watch her deteriorate in front of me week by week. Forgetfulness is part of the natural aging process, thus making it hard to distinguish the difference between forgetfulness and Alzheimer's. Alzheimer's is defined by acute memory loss, confusion, and inability to function. Not everyone with memory loss suffers from Alzheimer's. Some experience mild cognitive impairment, which is a common aging person's level of forgetfulness. Those with mild cognitive impairment will forget things such as where they left their car keys or where they left their toothbrush. But someone with Alzheimer's, such as my grandma, will forget how to drive their car or how to use their toothbrush. Alzheimer's is becoming more common among people over the age of 70. Estimates vary, but experts suggest that as many as 5.1 million Americans suffer from Alzheimer's, affecting about 20 million people worldwide. At the beginning stages of Alzheimer's, also known as AD, it is sometimes hard to distinguish the difference between normal age-related forgetfulness. However, those with AD suffer from greater memory loss than those with normal range. Each year, the symptoms worsen, and the line between Alzheimer's and the average aging person grows wider. Eventually, memory loss becomes so prominent that it puts the person with AD and possibly those around them in danger. In the beginning stages, the person with Alzheimer's will forget fairly simple, harmless things. But in this later stage, forgetting to turn off a stove becomes more commonly forgotten. In the final stage, a person suffers from AD need full-time care. They no longer respond in full sentences, ultimately leading them to staring blankly into space without any response. At the end, their identity and personality are gone. They recognize no one. When former President Ronald Reagan was in this last stage, a longtime friend who visited him was asked, "Did he recognize you?" The friend answered, "Worse than that, I didn't recognize him." End quote. After the first sign of Alzheimer's appears, the ability of neurons to communicate with each other cause the brain to stop functioning altogether. Patients have 10 to 15 years to live. Diagnosis is crucial when a person is mistakenly thought to have Alzheimer's. Alzheimer's destroys part of the brain, thus making it incurable, eventually losing all brain function. Although Alzheimer's is non-reversible, many scientists have found that the earlier, the more accurate the diagnosis, the better chance they would have at slowing the decline of brain function. Nevertheless, an accurate diagnosis is incredibly urgent to an older person who is possibly showing signs of Alzheimer's, because treatment may prolong life. Growing up with my grandma down the street, I was able to see her progress through the normal stages of memory loss. and as well the stages of Alzheimer's. There is a significant difference between the average memory loss and that of a person suffering from Alzheimer's. As family members, we need to be careful how we distinguish these differences. It is easy to mistake Alzheimer's for acute memory loss. Be aware of the signs, because upon diagnosis, a prolonged life may be attained. So after the presentation of Alzheimer's, do you guys have any questions or comments? Doug?
My grandpa has, I'm pretty sure, has acute memory loss, like you were explaining. Did you say that that is a beginning stage of Alzheimer's?
It could be, but you can't really diagnose it yet. It has to become more extreme before a doctor can actually start diagnosing it. Acute memory loss is actually normal for an older person. That's just forgetting the average things like losing your keys and stuff like that. But then it'll become more severe. If it is Alzheimer's, it'll become more severe, and the person will forget where they live or how to drive a car or stuff like that. And then if it is Alzheimer's, then yeah, it keeps going down. So you can't really know until it gets a little bit more severe.